Hello friends, today we will be discussed about thin cylinder. This chapter belongs to unit number 5 in strength of material subject. Now let's move on to introduction of thin cylinders. In many engineering applications, cylinders are mainly used for transporting or storing of liquids, gases or fluids. The main example is pipes, boiler and storage tanks and LPG gases which has been used for cooking purpose and commercial cylinders. As we know that the cylinders are having some liquids inside the cylinders. Definitely there will be a pressure inside the cylinder. That pressure is called fluid pressure. Due to that fluid pressure, some stress will be developed. Those stress will be evaluated in this chapter. Now let us see what are the three types of stresses are acting in the body or inside the cylinder. The first, hoop or circumferential stress, and second one will be longitudinal stress. Then third stress will be radial pressure or fluid pressure acting actually inside the cylinder. The first one, the hoop or circumferential stress. This is directed along the tangent to the circumference and tensile in nature. Thus, there will be increase in diameter. I can take next slide for explain hoop stress or circumferential stress. Yeah, the first one, the hoop stress. Sorry. Here you can see the three diagrams are shown here. The one is hoop stress, the second one longitudinal, third one radial stress. The hoop stress or sectioned view of the cylinder are shown laterally. Lateral portions are shown here. The second longitudinal stress, the longitudinal portions are shown. The third portion, the three dimension, not three dimension, and the closed view of the radial portion of the cylinder, the lateral views are shown here. Here see, inside the cylinder the pressures are acting on the wall. Due to that fluid pressure, the fluids are acting tangentially and tensile in nature. Due to tangential pressure and tensile pressure on the wall of the cylinder, the diameter may get increased. This is called the hoop stress. The second longitudinal stress, the longitudinal portions are considered. Here I have considered a section. The fluid pressures are acting on the wall. Tensile in nature. Due to that fluid pressure acting on the wall longitudinally, the length may get increased. This stress is called longitudinal stress. Then radial stress. We know that the pressure is acting inside the cylinder. Due to that pressure, there will be a difference between the outer atmospheric pressure and inner atmospheric pressure. The radially it is acting. We are not going to consider that only tangential force or we are not going to consider tangential force and tensile force. So in this radial stress, all the direction of pressures are considered. Due to that pressure, if there is increase in diameter as well as increase in length, that can be considered as, will be called as radial stress. I hope you understood well hoop or circumferential stress, the longitudinal and radial pressure. Now let us see next the element on the cylinder wall subjected to three stresses. Here you see the small elements are considered from a cylinder. The length portion I have shown longitudinal stress, and the diametrically portion the sigma c as shown, then the another fluid pressure as shown here. All three stresses are mutually perpendicular. The next, I'm sure that you have understood all three types of stresses and the application of the cylinder stresses. What are the cylinders are to be considered as thin cylinders? The main question may arise in your mind. A cylinder or spherical cell is considered to be thin when the metal thickness is small compared to internal diameter. The best example I have shown here, when the wall thickness T is equal to or less than T by 20. D means the smaller diameter, the cylinder inner diameter. The outer diameter will be capital L and inner diameter will be the small l. For example, let us take LPG gas cylinder, what we are using in our home. Okay, inside portion will be hollow. The outer side, what will happen? Then atmospheric pressure will acting on the cylinder. We know that wall thickness will be there in the cylinder. That thickness may be 5 mm or 10 mm. Definitely that thickness of the cylinder will be lesser than that of smaller diameter. That cylinder is called thin cylinder. If thickness is more than that of internal diameter, that will be considered as thick cylinder. For example, we will take our LPG gas cylinder, inner diameter is 20 mm and wall thickness of the cylinder is 5 mm. So what type of the cylinder it is? It is the internal diameter, thin cylinder. If the diameter of the internal diameter of the cylinder is 20 mm, wall thickness is 40 mm, this can be classified into thick cylinder portion, not thin cylinder portion, because the wall thickness is more than that of internal diameter. Is it clear? Then next, here I have shown the wireframe model of cylinder. You see, clearly I have shown circumferential stress, longitudinal stress and wall thickness. If this wall thickness is smaller than internal diameter, we can say this cylinder is thin cylinder. Yeah, see the definition. The stress acting along the circumference of the cylinder is called circumferential stress, whereas stress acting length of the cylinder is known as longitudinal stress. If the cylinder if stress is acting along the circumferential portion, this can be classified into circumferential stress. Next, the best example about circumferential stress. The bursting will take place if the force due to internal pressure. assume that our LPG gas cylinder is going to burst now. If LPG gas cylinder definitely is going to burst tangentially and circumferentially and longitudinally. If the cylinder is bursting circumferentially, that stress is called circumferential stress. Internal pressures are acting inside the cylinder. Due to that, the sigma c is formed. Sigma c means circumferential stress. Up to now, I am going to stop this session. The next session we will be discussing about the evaluation of the circumferential stress and hoof stresses. Also, the evaluation of longitudinal stress and evaluation of radial pressure. All three derivation will be discussed. After all three derivation, we will be going on problems. Thank you.